Hello and welcome to the Hill and Ponton VA video blog. I'm Matthew Hill here with Carol Ponton. Today we want to talk to you about mental health conditions in the VA and getting those service connected. And this is an area that Carol and I specialize in. Unfortunately, we see thousands of veterans who have severe mental health conditions due to service, and they can have multiple ones. Those who've read medical records on this would look on the Axis 1 and see that maybe a veteran just has PTSD, but a veteran could also have PTSD, depression, anxiety, and several
panic
other
attacks.
Panic attacks. And where we see veterans get confused and endanger their claims are when they have multiple diagnoses and they want them all service connected, or they believe they should be all service connected. A lot of times we'll have a veteran come to us where they have a rating where they're 30% service connected for PTSD but denied service connection for depression, and they'll say, well, I believe I should be entitled to service connection for depression. What do you typically say to that, Carol?
Well, the thing is, you can only be paid for one. Whichever is the worst is all you're going to be paid for. So,
meaning one mental health condition.
One mental health. So if you
they're all graded on the exact same criteria. So the VA won't give you two.
Right. So if you're service connected for PTSD and for depression, one at 40 and one at 50, you're only going to get the 50. You're not going to get the 40 and the 50 combined. So you ought to think about which is the worst and go for that one. Talk about that claim instead of trying to get both of them, because that's almost like it's going to cut you in half. You don't want to do that. So what happens with, say you have PTSD, that's related to something that happened in the service, but you may have depression that didn't happen in the service, but it's come on because you have a service-connected back problem that causes you so much pain and anxiety, and you can't do the things that you wanted to do. You see your family go off to baseball games, you can't sit on those bleachers, so you become terribly depressed. That may be the better claim to pursue. But you have to think about it, which affects me the most. But realize you're not going to get both.
One thing I look at is I see, we don't see cases, the way that the VA wrote the law and the way veterans attorneys are allowed to come in and get into a contract with the veteran is that we see cases that have been adjudicated, meaning cases that already have a decision, cases where the veteran has already entered their claim. And so a lot of times I'll get a decision where the veteran is, trying to get, again, service connected for depression, and they get denied, but they're 30% for the PTSD. My thought is, once they're service connected for a mental health condition, I don't care what it's called. I don't care what the breakup should be. I care about getting the veteran accurately rated and accurately paid.
Exactly.
Because I kind of think that what happens is they get you on a goose chase, wild goose chase, to go look over here on, hey, I want to get this service connected, when in reality, the whole premise of the VA rating system is just to get you the most compensation that you deserve. And so if you're already service connected for one mental health disability, and that one mental health disability, even if it's not your worst one, well, the VA has to prove that the symptoms you have are not related to that service connected disability. So I try to go with the veteran and say, let's see how much your max rate could be on this. Because that also preserves what's called the effective date, meaning how far back that claim can go. Because if you've been fighting for a year, you come to us, or you realize, hey, I want to, I'm fighting for service connection for depression, and I've already been service connected for PTSD, and then a year later you file that PTSD increased rating claim, well, you've just lost a whole year of benefits you could have been getting on a higher rating.
And say you have PTSD, you also probably have depression, panic attacks, anxiety. So all of these other things are part of the PTSD
Symptoms
already.
Of it, right.
So if you are only filing for one, it's going to be a little harder for them to say, oh yeah, that goes with the depression over here that we didn't service connect. So I'm with Matt. Once you've gotten service connected for one mental problem, you should try to show how bad that problem is. I usually see it the other way. I see where someone has gotten depression for their back or for the pain that they're dealing with, and they want service connection for PTSD. But maybe the problem with PTSD is we can't prove the stressor. We can't prove what happened. Don't spend your time being really upset about that, because we can work with the depression and get that up so that you're getting the highest rating for that. That's the problem I see, is veterans will worry so much that they're not getting service connected for something, but not realize it's not really going to make a difference to you.
Well, yeah, there's more ways,
Exactly.
more than one way to get what you deserve. And, as Carol said, it's getting the outcome, not necessarily the label. This system's not about the labels. The system is about getting you the benefits.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for tuning in today, and we look forward to seeing you again here soon.